Welcome back to the Cosmere Tournament of Power! We find ourselves in the third round of the competition. We have seen Wayne take round 1, Vin take round 2, and today we're going to see whether or not Lightsong or Pattern will come up on top. Now, I'll admit that Darth Ferb has brought up a very valid point. Where is this taking place? How is this taking place? And I will admit that when I saw what was going to happen in the third round, the first thought I had was, how on earth is this even going to work? For simplicity's sake, we're going to set the contest on Roshar, but not allow Pattern to have any access to Shallan or her altars. Some people brought up some great points. Marisi got to use the police, and we're going to allow that for that round. But generally speaking, these folks are going to have to stand on their own. Now, here's the thing. Lightsong and Pattern are two of the most delightful little golden retrievers in all of the Cosmere. In Warbreaker, we have him just annoyingly trying to figure out, who is he? What's his backstory? Where did he come from? He thinks he's got this lofty history as a detective or a scout or who knows what. And all the whole time, his poor family member is just there, feeling awful, feeling ridiculous. Pattern is going to sense that Lightsong is not all that different from a particular Lightweaver that he came to know and love. Lightsong is a man who has forgotten his past. He's a man who has forgotten who he was. And Pattern is going to observe this and is going to turn this whole competition on its head. Now, Lightsong, I think, is going to recognize a wonderfully affable, comedic, funny, clever person in Pattern, and I expect that they are going to find each other rather quickly, realize that neither of them can really do all that much damage to the other, and they're just going to begin engaging in games of chance, of skill. They'll probably play some chess, they'll tell riddles to each other, they'll have a grand old time, and the whole time, Lightsong is going to know he's on the clock. He's going to know that he has one day, and then he loses, because his breath will run out and he will not be able to sustain his cognitive shadow status any longer. Except, during these conversations, during these games, Pattern is going to unwind more and more of who Lightsong is, and eventually, Lightsong is going to come to the realization of who he really was, of his low station, of his status as a little clerk with no power, no prestige, and he's going to acknowledge that truth to himself. And Pattern, oh, delicious lies that he enjoyed beforehand, is going to soak up that truth, look our friend Lightsong in the eye, and say, now what if we had the most delicious lie of all? What if you win, as the good people in the comment section have deemed, have voted, but you do so bonded to me? For you see, I know another person from your planet who lives on my own. He came here long ago, and he sustains himself with Stormlight. Now, depending on whether you've listened to the original version of Warbreaker or not, you might imagine Lightsong as a surfer dude. I absolutely do. To which he will say to Pattern, well, what do you mean, dude? At which point, Pattern will explain the immortal words. He will explain the Nile bond. He will explain that Lightsong does not have to die. That Lightsong does not have to lose this round of the tournament. And instead, Lightsong can move on into the next round of the tournament as Lightsong, the Lightweaver. Fueled and powered by the investiture of Stormlight, no longer reliant upon the breaths of his people, and able to move forward, acknowledging the truth about himself, and moving to the next round of the Cosmere Tournament of Power with his bonded spren, Pattern. Now, to be clear, he won't have access to Shard Blade or Shard Plate unless he can find some way to speak truths between now and the end of the tournament, but I do love the idea that Lightsong and Pattern together would come up with a clever way to cheat this particular system. And so, Lightsong, bonded to Pattern, move forward into the next round of the Cosmere Tournament of Power. Now, let's look at what's coming next. Go ahead and get your votes in as to who you think will win in round 4, Navani or Milan.